Yo, what's up? This is MC Chris. You're watching Front Row Live Entertainment. Did you hear that? It's Front Row Live. Front Row Live. Did you hear that? Yo, you gotta watch this show. It's the best show in the history of shows. I'm still doing my pose. I'm not done. And, it's over.
Hey guys, Robert Herrera here with Front Row Live Entertainment. I'm hanging out here with MC Chris. How's it going?
What's up? How you doing? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much. Very cool to be here in Los Angeles, California. I'm watching Escape from LA right now in the minivan, and it's awesome. I love the Escape from LA movies, or the Escape from ... movies, and I hope they make a third one. Kurt Russell, if you're watching this, please, let's make another one, baby. Let's make it happen. Just call me.
Get on it.
Get on it, Kurt.
You're on your headlining tour. How's the tour been so far?
The tour has been amazing so far. People are still coming to see me. The rooms are packed, and it's like sweaty messes, and it's a lot of fun. And it's just kind of I'm not the biggest success in the world. I'm just like slow and steady. I just kind of have the same amount of people coming back every year, and we just have a good time, and it's great. It's a real blessing.
Cool. And right now you just released Race Wars.
Race Wars, my 7th album, just dropped September 2nd, premiered #1 on comedy, in the comedy category at iTunes, and it's #7 on the Billboard charts in comedy. So it was really great premiere, and I'm an independent act, so it's just me kind of doing this out of my apartment in Brooklyn, and we kicked ass. Now we're on a tour. I got some great openers, Mega Ran and Adam Warrock, MC Lars, and just a lot of fun touring with some people I feel like I really get along with and I feel really comfortable with, and they're just a great bunch of guys. It's a great show. We're getting great reviews on Twitter and Facebook. Everyone's having a really good time.
Cool. And what influenced this record?
Well, I'd say like all kinds of things influenced this record. My nephew was really into cars, and he's just a little kid. He's like 3, and so it reminded me that I was really into cars when I was little, like Hot Wheels, Matchbox cars, stuff like that. And that's just a part of my childhood that I hadn't really explored yet. I've explored like Star Wars, I've explored like G.I. Joe, all kinds of cool stuff. And I thought about cars, and we used to get together after school and set out all the cars, and we'd pick who got what car. And there were cars that were really cool and cars that were duds that you didn't want to get, and you could decide who was driving the car. James Bond is driving the Ferrari, and Indiana Jones is in the Jeep, and they would all race each other, and it was just a crazy world. And there were things like Cannonball Run or Wacky Races and stuff like that that had like all these different elements racing each other, and they had this running joke about race wars, and then the race wars happened. It'd be like how they'd cut to another scene or something. I saw it in the Brack Show, I saw it in the Space Ghost, I think we used it in C-Lab. It's like a little Easter egg to find if you can find it. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool instead of it being about what it's assumed to be about, which is all the races, like getting into their different groups and fighting each other for supremacy? But what if it was like car wars, just like these old car movies used to happen all the time in the 70s and 80s? And so we made like a trailer for this car movie, and that's kind of the starting point for the story. Okay. And the Race Wars it's got a theme to it, but you kind of have to listen to it to understand what it's really about, because there's a secret to it.
Okay. And speaking of secrets, on your last album, MC Chris Goes to Hell, I noticed the last track was Race Wars. Yes. So were you already planning on doing this?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was. I didn't know what I was going to do, exactly what the album was going to be, but the trailer, I just made. I made a lot of trailers for things at Adult Swim. And it was just, I like making commercials, so it was kind of one of those things where I just kind of wanted to make a commercial. What the final product is a little different than what the commercial is, which is one of the themes of it, one of the themes being marketing, advertising, and misleading the public. But you just have to kind of get the album and see what I mean when I'm talking, or, to figure out what I'm talking about. It's hard to talk about it because you can't talk about it.
You've been obviously successful with what you're doing, and you've done everything on your, on your own. Yes. So how are you still able to do so much and produce your albums and all of that all by yourself?
I use B12. No, I don't know what it is. I think, what's weird when you get a little older, I'm 36, you get a little wiry and you start acting like a dad. You start waking up at dawn. You can't wait to like start working on what you love to work on. And I have a lot of control over my life, so I can kind of work on the MC Chris business, and which is what I do right when I get up. I can't wait, and I have a million different things I always have to think about, from T-shirt designs to websites to charities to I have acting jobs on the side. I have all these things that I do, and I got to keep it all in order myself. And so I wake up and I just try to keep it together, and it's fun though, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy what I do, which is why I think I keep doing it.
Exactly. And speaking of charities, you just raised $100,000 for cystic fibrosis.
Well, it took 3 years to raise the 100,000, but you know, it was basically the nephew that I was talking about earlier about cars. You know, he has cystic fibrosis, and like it's this horrible disease that takes your life away from you. It takes your life from you. You don't get to live a full life. You get to live to be in your 30s. Although I've heard all kinds of stories about people living to be in their 50s and 60s, having kids and grandkids and very full lives. There's a lot of cool things that could happen, but I don't know that. I don't know what's going to happen. So, you know, I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to make things happen faster in the drug industry. But what I can do is I can raise money and, you know, and then give that to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and help them to have events to raise money. Or they also put that money into the pipeline, creating drugs that will make those with CF have a life with less suffering. And you know, maybe we can even come up with the cure, you know. And I know that's crazy to talk about it, but why not? Why not just, you know, you don't know. Every time I pick up a penny, I'm like, how do I know this isn't the one little thing that's going to get us on over to the other side, and we don't have to worry about this anymore? Because I just want to save my nephew, you know. That's
true, definitely. You also released your first child album.
Yes, I have a children's album that I made called Marshmellow Playground. The guy that made Mad Max, the Mad Max trilogy, I believe his name is George Miller. He also made Happy Feet, which was like this kind of penguin choreographed CGI movie. Yeah. And I thought it was funny that these two movies were made by the same dude. And so I just wanted to have Race Wars to have this kind of really cute companion piece and have Race Wars seem like really dirty and vile, you know, but then the same guy made this. And so I just wanted to make something like that. And then once I get involved in a project, I really just want, you know, the old saying, anything worth doing is worth doing well. I really wanted to do a good job. I wanted to give it my all and treat the children's audience with a lot of respect and not treat them like they're idiots, but just talk about my experiences and what it was like for me to be a kid, and also, you know, encourage them to take stock in how good they have it and how great it is to have a mom and a dad in a house. Exactly. And, you know, those sound really like simple ideas, but I thought it was appreciated by a lot of parents, or at least that's what the letters I got. And, you know, they say that you can use the album to help the kids go to sleep or wake up, you know, or just to keep them entertained on their way to school and stuff. So it actually was an album that, you know, started out as a joke and just like a little tiny side thing, but then it kind of became a little success in my mind, so we're definitely going to make a sequel.
Do you think that'll open doors for like kids shows or maybe even like a kids tour?
You know, that's possible. Maybe like in bookstores or something like that. You know, I don't know. I don't know if there'd be as many kids as there are like adult fans of MC Chris. I think it's kind of like this is music for MC Chris fans that have children. And they, you know, the little kids are curious about what MC Chris music is, and they really can't listen to it, but you can listen to this. And it's something that the parents and the kids can enjoy together, and they don't have to stress out about it.
What else do you have planned out? You know, I know you raised for
like at the end of Goes to Hell, you hear a trailer for Race Wars. So at the end of Race Wars, you kind of hear a trailer for what we're going to be doing next. Okay. And that's spoiler stuff, but you know, I did a song about Batman. I guess I'll let that bat out of the bag, and that's the last song on the album. So what I'm going to do in the beginning of next year is that I'm going to start releasing short runs, which are like 4-song CDs. Okay. I'm going to do one that's a series called Heroes, and then I'm going to do another one, a series called Villains, and it's all going to take place in Gotham City. And basically, like, I made songs about the bounty hunters for 2 years, and so I'm going to spend the rest of this year writing songs about characters that exist in the Gotham City universe. And that'll all be done by the time the new Batman movie comes out. And while I'm making that, I will be working on my 8th album, and I'm not going to tell you the title of that. And then I'm also want to make a short run about presidents. I think I'm going to start writing songs about U.S. presidents, kind of like in the same vein of Boba Fett or the Batman song. But you know, I love history, and I think this is just something I want to start rapping about. And there's a sequel to Marshmellow Playground called Marshmellow Campground that we're making.
How soon would we expect that one?
This will all happen in 2012, and as well as a new Adult Swim cartoon called Type Bros. It's me and MF Doom and a really great comedian called Todd Barry, and a new show called Type Bros made by some guys that worked on Beavis and Butthead. Okay. And I've been working on that for a year, recording that, and I did the theme song, and I just love this show, and I can't wait for people to see it. I think it's an important show, actually, and I'm very happy that I'm taking part in it.
Any words you want to give out to your fans and?
Well, I would say when people try to make you feel like you're not as good as they are, it's a trick. I know I'm not saying this in the best way, but like if someone tries to convince you that you're ugly or you're fat or you're slow or you're whatever, whatever they want to say, they're just trying to convince you of something, and it's just a mind game, and it's really not true. So when someone tries to make you feel bad, know that that's just a feeling, and you can control feelings, and you can kind of like take that ball and just like fire it right back at them. You don't really have to absorb that negative energy. Just deflect it, and don't feed the trolls, and you'll be fine. Just remember that it's not real and that you're awesome. The only reason they're giving you any kind of attention at all is because they can tell that you're awesome, that you're happy, that you love your life, and they're like, well, I've got to mess with that, so don't let them do it.